Mhm. It's on now. Hi, everybody.
Hi, this is my first live. I'm very excited. I am going to be sharing a few things with you guys. So, hello. Today is the day, live day for planting seeds. First, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody that has encouraged me, shared posts, watched my videos, helped me to develop, and who participate in anything that I have going on and said, keep going. I appreciate you. So, now before I get started, I want to address something. If you've been following me, you know that when this was originally announced, the live, I was planning on something much bigger. I was planning on talking for 4 to 5 hours. Yes, 4 to 5 hours. And somewhere in between coordinating and planning and learning the technology, preparing the material, organizing, and everything else that goes into it, I learned something. I don't need 5 hours to give you something valuable. And you don't need to sit in front of the phone or computer for 5 hours to receive something valuable from me. So I pivoted. My original version wasn't wrong. My original vision, excuse me, wasn't wrong. It was simply bigger than what I needed to do for where I am right now. I had guests, different topics, I had schedules, questions, resources, and a lot of plans. And it kept building and building and building. But at some point, I had to stop and ask myself, how do I make everything fit? And what type of audience do I have? What does my audience need? And that's a very different question. So I could sit here for 4 or 5 hours simply because that's what I originally announced. But would that make this any better? Would you remember more? Would you watch the whole thing? Would you come back? Probably not. Who wants to sit for 4 to 5 hours? We don't have that kind of time, not as entrepreneurs. So, somebody very close to me reminded me of something very simple: people's time matters. And that made me think. So, instead of trying to give you everything in one sitting, why not give you something that you can actually use? Something you can remember, something you can come back for, and then plant another seed next time. That's when it clicked for me. Planting seeds doesn't have to be an enormous event. Planting seeds can become a series, one conversation at a time, one lesson at a time, one experience at a time, one seed at a time. And that decision taught me something about entrepreneurship. Sometimes we think changing the plan means that something's wrong, but it really doesn't. Sometimes changing that plan means that we learn something, which I did. I'm learning every day. So sometimes the original plan gets you moving, and then your experience teaches you how to make it better. That is not quitting, you guys. That's not quitting, and it's not failure. You know what that is? It's growth. Okay. And I am very comfortable at this point in my journey to let you guys know that I see that part too. I know you don't only want a polished flyer, and I didn't want to just give you a polished flyer. I didn't want to just show you a finished website. I wanted you to picture something that was imperfect, just like I am. I'm imperfect. I wanted you to see what building actually looks like. And sometimes building means that didn't work. Let me try something new. That's too much. Let me simplify this. And what I've learned today is that change has to do with everything I'm going to do tomorrow. And sometimes it looks like a 4 or 5 hour plan was condensed into a 1 hour plan. So that's what I'm giving you today. Not 5 hours, not everything, not everything that I know, not every story that I have, because you don't want that either. Not every seed that I'm planting. But what I am giving you is what matters to me today. And I'm saving some seeds because we're going to plant those together another day. So I thought I was starting a business. And here's what's interesting: when I started thinking too much about how much I've learned and putting this together, I started thinking about the entire entrepreneurial journey and everything that's happened since November. And I had to ask myself, what have I been doing all of these months? So I made a list. And when I looked at that list, it made me laugh. And because apparently I thought starting a business is going to be easy, but starting a business actually is very challenging because you take off one hat as an employee for one company and you put on all these other hats that you have to wear as an entrepreneur. And if I told you every hat that I wore, I'd be right back at the 4 or 5 hour window. So let me just give you a few of those things that being an entrepreneur, the hats that I wear. I'm a founder, a visionary, project manager, researcher, content creator, and a writer. Social media, did I mention that one? And a planner, event coordinator, troubleshooter, technology, and there's a long list of things, you guys. But probably the most important one is a student because I have had to learn something almost every single day. And when I'm not doing all of that, I'm still a registered nurse. I'm still working, I'm still a mom, and I'm still taking care of my home. I still have bills to pay, and becoming a new entrepreneur, you don't make money at first. So that's a big one. I still have appointments to go to, a ton of responsibilities, and I still have a lot of people that love me and need me. Entrepreneurship didn't magically remove any of that, it just added more hats. But here's why I'm telling you this. I'm not telling you this so you'll say, wow, look at everything she's doing. No, not at all. I'm telling you this because somebody told me, I'm telling you this because someone watching me right now may have an idea. They may have a dream. They may have something that they've been sitting on in the back of their mind for 5 years, 10 years, maybe even 20 years. So, but you keep telling yourself you're not ready. I don't know enough. I don't know how to do all of that. Let me tell you something. Neither did I, and I still don't. I'm learning every single day. I didn't know everything when I started, and I don't know everything now. What I have learned is some very important things. I learned that you don't have to know everything to start. Sometimes I just have to learn what I need to do to get through today's assignment. So, you guys, I've told you all these things about all these hats and everything that I've been wearing, how I started this journey. But sometimes you don't realize how much you're doing when you're in the middle of one thing and doing another. So I thought it would be very interesting to hear just for a few moments from somebody that's had a front row seat in my journey. And that's my daughter. She's seen the ideas, she's heard the plans, she's seen the excitement, she's seen the frustration, she's seen some things work, and she's seen a lot of things that didn't work. She's seen things differently from my perspective. So I'm going to let her pop in for just a few minutes because I want you to hear what she has to say about this entrepreneurial journey and what it's looked like from someone else's perspective. So guys, please help me welcome my daughter, Demi Sims.
Well, hello everyone. Since you put my whole government on YouTube, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. So grateful for you to be here supporting my mom and I on this awesome journey. And I'm ready to kick it off. So let's go.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask you just a few questions and I want you to be honest because these are our guests. Now she'll make you laugh. I'm going to tell you that ahead of time. We have a very unique relationship. She's my firstborn, the wind beneath my wings. But I just want to ask her a few questions. So when I first told you that I was starting Servants Who Care, what did you honestly think?
So I'm just going to be very transparent and say I have not looked at these questions at all. I asked her to send them to me and I have not. So you finna get something real, okay? real. Uh, hmm. I don't know. I thought you were insane. uh, you had a full-time job, doing something you love, taking care of people like you love, and you're just like, I'm gonna quit my job after seeing all the struggles she'd been through and some of the difficulties she was having with the job, and seeing her go through that was really hard for me personally. And so I was kind of an advocate at the same time, but I had no idea really what all that entailed. Uh, would I go back? Probably not. Probably not. Uh, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. So uh, let's boogie.
Okay. And you've watched me wear all of these different hats as a single mom. What's one thing you've watched me learn or do that surprised you?
Hmm. Well, seeing you get into content creation has been interesting, especially because you don't know how to work the printer sometimes. And now she wants to do lives with 12 people and post videos daily and make banners and flyers. She's becoming quite the tech expert junior. So I know, right? That's how I feel too, man. I don't. Whew, it's been a struggle, but we're making it.
Thank you. You've also seen the parts that people on social media don't see. What has this journey actually looked like behind the scenes?
Um, I don't know, like that saying, "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder." It's something like that. I think every day just brings something else. Um, there's as I sit with her and I hear her, even when I'm not here, and the ideas that she's been given from someone else on how to better advance or, secure booking for a site or, you know, do something else, you learn that it's a lot. Everybody has a great idea, and I feel like it's learning when to implement it and when to say that's a great idea, but I'm not going to do it this second because I mean, if I called anybody on the stream right now and I said, hey, I want to buy a car, somebody might be more interested in the cup holders, or somebody might be worried about, how well I can see. And so all these people coming together trying to show me what their ideal car looks like might not look like the ideal car for me at the moment. So it's learning to say, hey, I really care about the cup holders, but right now this is my priority, but that doesn't mean it's a great idea. That doesn't mean it's not a great idea. I just don't know if I can implement it right now. And so with some of the events that she's put on with last minute things creates last minute chaos, which sometimes doesn't have to be that way. It can learn to say, I'll put that in my toolbox for later and we will implement that next time. So
I love that. I love these raw answers. This is raw and, and truly from the heart, you guys. And she has been on the front lines, and I really appreciate her honest opinion and input because this has been a journey. And, people may see on the outside and think, oh, yeah, I'll start a business. Oh, yeah, I'll make money. I'll get my name out there. But when you're starting the business, you don't have anybody. I mean, you don't have people that you hire, pay to help you, right? You have your family members, friends, people that are close to you that want you to be successful and that will step in and help you do things at the last minute, crazy ideas, spur of the moment, ADHD, whatever kind of things I have going on. And she's been there with me all the time. And I know it's been difficult. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, there's been times I've cried, I've wanted to quit. But if I ever say, hey, Demi, I need some help, she is right there. I mean, the very lights that you see on us right now, she bought those. The banner behind me, I mean, she has truly and is the wind beneath my wings. So I just thought I'd throw that in there that this is raw and real, you guys. Okay. So will you still answer a few more questions for me?
I love to.
Okay. Um, so what do you no, have you ever watched me get frustrated? Well, that was a great segue to this question. Have you ever watched me get frustrated with something and thought, Mom, just leave that alone? And did I do it or what did I do?
Well, aw, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Uh, have I seen you get frustrated? Probably more times than I can count. But I can't blame you for that because if I was in your shoes and doing the same thing, I'd be frustrated too. For this live, for instance, like it literally came about like a week ago. My mom's never streamed on anything. Well, actually, I take that back. She's live streamed herself on YouTube, and it was like her at the beach or like the sun, and that was about it. But she says, okay, I'm gonna go live, and then she says, okay, I have one guest. Oh, I told somebody about this, and now I have 5 guests. Okay, now I have 12 guests, and it's in a week, and I need a script, and then some people are gonna come to the house, and then this and this, and it just started building, and I was like, what the heck? Right, right. You know what? I'm not even mad at. I'd be running from your grand ideas too. I'm not for hire. not for hire. But it was getting a lot, and that's where I kind of have to learn to take a step back myself, is because you are like going through all this chaos with trying to get things organized, and as much as I believe in you, that can't be my chaos at the same time, because if we're both in chaos zone, then nothing's going to get accomplished. So I've really learned to take care of myself and make sure you take care of you even when you don't know how to. Like if she's sitting up here on the computer till midnight, I'm bringing water or her favorite chips, or making sure, there's food here so she can stay in her chaos zone and I can decompress, step away for a minute, and then I come back. So really taking care of myself. As far as frustrations, um, I'd say a lot of flexibility comes into that, because oh, I'm repaying now. Okay. Ain't nobody told you I anyway. So I guess I'm repaying now. But really a lot of flexibility, which I'm also learning too, and learning to give grace, because I realized that this is her first time on earth. She's never started a business before. This is her first time stepping into these things to try to elevate the life that she helped create for my brother and I, and for the glory of God. Excuse me. So this is all part of that, and really just being flexible. I understand, that sometimes you might have these grand ideas, and things might not go this way, or something is said, and then it just doesn't work out, and that's really difficult and frustrating. And trust me, I get frustrated for you, but I just have to say, take a step back, remember what you're doing, remember the mustard seeds we're planting, and know that it's all going to work out, whether it's with the business or something else. My mom has little mustard seeds around here. She's giving away to people at events, and even if God, if it might not be in God's plans for this to work out, and somebody just gets that seed and it changes everything for them, then your work is done. So really, just trying to stay positive, taking the time to be upset and grieve the losses, but celebrate the wins at the same time. It's a really a difficult balance, and I'm learning it myself. So, uh, yeah, I guess that's probably it. As far as for frustrations, literally right before we went live, I was ready to chunk this laptop across the living room, because things weren't really going how we thought we would. We thought we had stream set up, and learning the StreamYard YouTube collaboration has been a little bit difficult, because I never streamed on YouTube before, and I thought it might be a little bit easier, but having to use these systems and figuring out how they work together with other things is difficult. So I'm glad we didn't throw the laptop, because you guys are very nice. But that's probably it. Next question.
Okay, thank you. She's keeping it 100. I like that. So this is live, you guys. So that thank you for sharing that, because I want you to be honest, because at the end of the day, you guys, keeping it 100% transparent. Yeah, this business is my baby. I love it, but this is my heart and soul right here.
And Tina.
And no matter what happens with this business, she is still going to be in my life. And I think sometimes we can lose sight of that when we're focused on a goal. But God is my foundation with everything. And my family, my daughter, my son and my daughter are my that's my heartbeat. So it's important to me that I don't feel like I'm taking advantage of her, and that she doesn't feel like, I know this is new for her. As she just said, it's not only me learning about business, it's her. She's learned just as much as I have, because we've been going through this together. So I want her to be transparent and keep it real with her feelings. I don't want you guys to feel like this is scripted. I told her to say, I didn't tell her to say any of this. I said, will you come on so I can ask you a couple questions? And I want you to be honest and speak from your heart. And as you can see, that's just what she's doing. So we'll get to the next one. Then we'll get a couple more questions for her. Then we'll get back to the seeds. Okay, so what do you think has kept me going when something didn't work the way I planned? I think you talked about some of that in the last, but what do you think I do when something doesn't, when it doesn't go as planned?
I think that being raised in the church and having awesome support system in, Dion and I and Aunt Tina and Uncle Jason and John and, other mentors you might have through school. Oop, through school or wherever else have really helped you on your journey. And like the mental health coach you were listening to last night, that just as count your blessings, you have a house, you have food, and just remembering all the things you're blessed with. Sorry, my hair is tickling the back of my neck. And that really helps you just staying strong in your faith at the end of the day. Whether it's listening to gospel while you're doing the dishes and thinking of the next great plan, or anything else. So
Okay, thank you. All right, two more questions. You've known me your whole life, not just as an entrepreneur. You do not see you. I mean, I'm sorry. You see things from my past careers or from being your mom showing up in the way that I'm building this business?
yes, and I see that. I don't want to say a curse, but I do see it as a big blessing. But I also know having a servant heart, like what she has, what she gave to me, it can be difficult, because you really think about how what you're doing affects not only you, not only me and immediate family, but how it affects the people you might run into at an event or even watching the stream right now. Um, so I think having a servant heart and caring as much as you do really, it through all your jobs, actually, I can't think of one job you've had where you weren't giving into others or pouring into others the best way you could, even at Ford Motor Credit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, so sorry, Ford. Please don't pull down the live. We're not getting paid for saying that. But even at Ford, where she was on the phone with them and helping them with whatever, like, I feel like you've always found a way to try to love on people the best way you can. And, um, even when your hands were tied due to whatever. So, uh, I mean, yeah, I can remember times where Dion and I were little and we were volunteering. I didn't even know what a volunteer was. All I knew is that, we were here at this place and, we were gonna pass out plates. And sure, would there have rather been things I want to do like play with Legos or be outside? Sure. But, my parents, they had us in this place giving back. Or we'd be at a senior home, or we'd be going to sing Christmas carols, and all of that is, I think, just really the foundation of who you are as a person. So I mean, when you look at the things you're doing, oh, get it together. I don't have time for tears.
No,
No crying. No crying on the live. um but companion care, that's loving and supporting on others. Independent adults, still making people feel like they're seen and valued, when oftentimes they may not have that flexibility, and giving them another option. CPR and first aid, that's, providing these necessary skills that someone may need to help save a life. And the allied health training is just, doing what you love. So I love that.
thank you. Okay, and last question. If somebody watching this is sitting on an idea because they think they're too old, it's too late, they're too scared, they don't know enough yet, what have you learned from watching me start this business? What advice would you give to somebody that's watching, that's thinking, man, you know, I want to go for this, but they think they're too old, they're scared, they don't know enough, everything is not just right? What would you tell that person sitting on the couch right now? Because that was me back in November of last year.
I'd say that it's probably never going to be just right. A lot of the times we wait for just right, and just right doesn't come. We are all only granted so many days, so many minutes, and at any moment that could be taken away from us. So, I mean, you can sit and wait for tomorrow, but tomorrow might not come. Your idea, your thoughts may never be shared. So, I'd say go ahead and share them while you can, and do it. Do it when it's tough. Do it when it's raining. Do it when you're sad. It's like a gym thing. My uncle Robbie, he has been working out since before I was born, and he still does it faithfully every day. I see his videos on my stream, and that's kind of the mentality you have. And sure, some shoe brand might have this thing where you might just do something, but literally, just do it. Take the step. And I don't know. I kind of feel fake for saying that, right? Because like I see my uncle and he's working out and doing all these things, and I'm loving his videos, and I'm like, man, I should go to the gym. But instead, I'm gonna watch him go to the gym, and I'm gonna save 100 videos of stuff I can do to the gym, do at the gym when I get to the gym. But then I, sometimes fail to act. And so I learned you take baby steps. You first time you put your shoes in your bag, okay, and then you get your bag and you put it by the door, and then you move your bag to the car, and then slowly you get in the car and you have your watch charged, and you might take, drive to the gym, but you may not go in the gym, but you're getting closer and closer. Just keep progressing and keep moving forward to these things, because nobody can do it but you. And if you don't say what you have to say, nobody can say it for you. uh but I guess I feel fake a little bit saying that, I guess, going back, because there's things I want to do. I don't know what the heck that was,
I don't.
but I'm not even gonna look.
This is live. I don't know what that was either.
Something just
Nothing
fell.
blew up though.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was, but I seeing you go through this really just challenges me a little bit more, because there's days where I don't feel like getting out of bed. I was in the military for 10 years almost, and I got out and I've been dealing through some stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed. And it's like, how can I not get out of bed when I look at the camera and I see her car leave before the sun comes up? And then she comes back when the sun goes down. And then the next day, she's going here to volunteer at a prison to help minister with them, and then she's gone all day and doesn't get back till 11:30. How can I not get up? And so sometimes I feel like just utilizing the skills that, or maybe not even skills, just utilizing what I see in her to help me get to where I want to be, or that I know I can be, really, it really, if she cries, I'm really done with this, and I will not come
Okay,
back
I
on
won't.
here.
I won't.
I can't do tears. But just, I don't know, utilizing the motivation that you see in someone else. She doesn't have all the answers. She's learning, uh, and that takes giving grace and also having compassion, because I don't know it all either. I'm like, man, you got to plug up the printer before you press print. Oh, my bad. And then I'll go and plug it up, and uh, I don't know. There's really just a lot I could say, but I have a nail in my tire right now, and I have a nail appointment to go get my tires replaced. So I'm headed out the door to do that. But I just wanted to tell you thank you. I love you so much. Very proud of you. I'm glad we didn't throw your Apple computer. And we're very grateful to have you on. Please like, subscribe, share, and all that cool stuff. And I'm sure she'll have me back as a surprise guest. So y'all have a good day.
I
Love you.
love you so much. Thank you. Ah. Thank you so much. That was a surprise. That was not planned, you guys. Like I said, I've had to pivot a couple of times when I first had this, idea, and I was actually pushed by someone else to do this live because it wasn't on my, as they say, my bingo card. But I'm glad I'm doing it. I'm glad that you guys are getting to know a little more about me. So we'll get back to some of the things that I was going to say. I can't see the chat. I don't know if there's any questions in there. Okay, I think they're mainly comments. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. So I will go back. So what she talked about brings me perfectly to my next seat. Because if there's one thing that I can tell you about the journey of my life, it has taught me this: things do not go according to plan. And when I talk about resilience, I'm going to talk about resilience now, the seed of resilience. When I talk about resilience, I'm not using that word simply. I'm using it because I've lived it. There's a part of my story that I don't talk much about in public, but today I want to share it with you because it's part of how I became the woman that I am today. Addiction. Addiction affected my family, and addiction became a part of my own story. But in 2007, I made a decision to turn around the direction of my life, and I've continued on that path ever since. I don't share that with you because it's a chapter that defines me, and I certainly don't share it with you because it's something that I'm ashamed of. I share it because when I look at somebody today, when I look at the mirror, and when you look at the person that's standing in front of you, you don't know what it took for me to get here. You don't know what I've had to overcome. You don't know the decisions that I've had to make. You don't know how many times I've had to start over, and there's a lot. You don't know how many seeds that I have had planted in my life that are growing, but that's the person that's sitting in front of you right now. So when I say resilience, what that word means, resilience isn't pretending that difficult chapters never happened. It's being able to say that what happened is a part of my story, but it does not get to write or define the rest of my life. And if you're watching today and there's something in your past that you've allowed to convince you that you're disqualified, I want you to hear this from me. Your past can be a part of your story without being the author of your future. You can turn the page. You can make another decision. You can plant another seed, and you can begin writing a different chapter. I know that because I've done it and I've lived it. And here's what's remarkable. The woman who made that decision in 2007 could not see everything that was ahead of her. There's no way I would have told you I'd be sitting right here. She couldn't see every lesson. She couldn't see every opportunity. She couldn't see every person that she would eventually serve. And she certainly couldn't see herself sitting here today building businesses, talking to you about planting seeds. She couldn't see the whole tree. She just had to plant the seed. And that's why resilience isn't just one of my talking points today, it's personal. Resilience in entrepreneurship. Resilience has followed me right into this journey I am today. Obviously, changing a business plan is nothing compared to changing the direction of your life. But the lesson I've carried with me is still the same. When something isn't working, I don't have to stay stuck simply because that's where I started. I can make another decision. I can change my direction. I can ask for help, which I've done many times and I will do again if I need to. I can learn, adjust, and keep it moving. Okay. You can have a beautiful plan. You can have everything written down, the dates, the times, the people, the schedule, the vision, and then life happens. Someone cancels, plans change, equipment doesn't work, technology. I mean, there's a ton of things that can happen. As she mentioned, we were getting very frustrated at this laptop, but we didn't throw it, we kept it. So what you do is you discover something you didn't know when you made that original plan. And suddenly a plan isn't a plan anymore. So what do? Do you quit? No. Do you decide that the whole thing is a failure? No, don't do that. What can I do with what I have right now? That's what we should say. That's resilience. And I'm practicing that right here today. I had one vision for planting seeds and what it was going to look like. And I learned some things. Circumstances changed. I listened and I adjusted. I changed the plan, not the purpose. And that's something I want somebody watching today to remember. You are allowed to change the plan without abandoning the dream. Regroup. Keep it simple. Make it smaller if you need to. Slow down. It's hard to do that. Everything moves so fast in this world we're in today, but just slow down a little bit and ask for help. And sometimes you just have to start all over again. That's why they put erasers on pencils, because we all make mistakes. So don't confuse changing direction with giving up. Sometimes the pivot is the very thing that protects the vision. And speaking of purpose, that brings me to the next seed. There are people who reach a certain age and start asking, is it too late? I know I did. Is it too late to go back to school? I didn't go back to school for my nursing degree until I was almost 50. Didn't start this business journey until I was 60. They also ask, is it too late to learn technology? Well, my answer is no. And I'm going to have a lot of different people on to speak about those different topics. Now, starting later does not mean that we're starting empty handed. When you've lived life, you have something very special to bring. You bring experience, mistakes, lots of lessons, right? I bet everybody in this who's in this live can relate to lessons that we've learned being parents, just existing, you learn lessons. Our judgment, our problem solving skills. We bring stories of how we've overcome, how we've survived, and we bring things that we knew absolutely did not work. And all of that has taught us something. I am a registered nurse, as I mentioned. I went back to nursing school and I was almost 50 through an accelerated bachelor's degree program. And I've worked in different areas of healthcare. I've cared for people during incredibly vulnerable moments. I've had to make some tough decisions. I've had to be there with families when they had to make tough decisions, have to learn how to communicate, problem solve, and be in many situations when they aren't calm. I've been a single parent. My kids lost their dad when he was 39 years old. So I've been a single parent pretty much their entire lives. I've worked, gone to school, managed my household, and I've had to keep on living, keep on working, and keep adjusting. When I made the decision to become an entrepreneur, those things did not change. I brought all of those things I had been through, all of those experiences with me. The challenge was learning how to recognize the value of what I already knew. And that's what I want you to think about. Maybe you're sitting there saying, I don't have anything to start with. Are you sure about that? I think you do. What have people been asking you for help with over the years? What can you do that seems easy but difficult for someone else? What problems have you learned to solve? And what have you survived? We all have a survival story. I have several. What has your career taught you? What did raising a family teach you? What did starting over teach you? And what have your mistakes taught you? And we all have some successes as well. They teach us lessons also. All of those things matter. Your experience adds value. Your experience is not expired. Your purpose does not come with an expiration date. That's part of what business after 60 is all about and what it means to me. It's not pretending that I'm not 61 because I am. It's about recognizing what age has given me the experience, perspective, patience, wisdom, and maybe enough confidence to say that I'm going to try. And I want to tell you guys this. Last year, before I even initiated the paperwork for Servants Who Care, I came across a post online from an entrepreneur. I won't mention her name because I didn't get permission. But I heard her speaking about someone sitting on the couch not using the gifts that God have given them. And I thought, well, gosh, I wonder if she's talking to me because I have gifts to give. I have something to give too. I have spent years caring for people, even before I was a nurse. I had experience, I had the education, definitely had a lot of life lessons, and I had survived number of different things. I had accomplished some things, and I had gifts that I wasn't fully using. That moment didn't give me purpose, it reminded me that I already had one. And that was part of what pushed me to stop and start thinking about servants who care. Because I am a servant and I have been my whole life. Sometimes the seed that God plants has been in you for years. It just takes the right word, the right moment, or the right person to remind you of that. So get up, you've got something to do. And I got up. And I didn't know that I'd end up wearing all of those hats that I had mentioned earlier. I didn't know that everything that starting a business was going to entail. I just knew that I was eager, I was willing, and I was ready to plant that seed. And sometimes that's all we're being asked to do because purpose may get you off of the couch, but determination is what keeps you moving. Take a sip of water. My cup. Okay, you guys. So this is where it gets real. Purpose can tell you you're doing something. Resilience helps you recover when things change. But determination, that's what she was talking about. Me getting up in the morning, and I do. I get up in the morning, I leave when the sun comes up, I work all day. I volunteer several different places with the fire department, with the prison ministry, with a sober living home. And I do all that with my own free time, not because I have to, because I want to give back. I feel like God gives us many gifts in this world, and we hold on to those gifts. But when we leave here, we're not going to take them with us. He gives them to us so that we can use them and bless someone else. So the motivation is what keeps us going. Determination gets us up in the morning and helps us to do it all over again. Motivation feels wonderful, but it comes and goes. Some mornings you feel excited, you've got your coffee, you've got your list, you've got all these great ideas, all these things you want to do. You get ready, and then other mornings, not so much. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, but I get up anyway because I have things to do. So that's where the determination comes in. I may not feel like doing it every day, but today I can do the next thing. I don't have to conquer the entire mountain in one day. I just have to keep moving. Make the call, send the email, research the question, fix the page, write the post, learn technology, which was a big one for me. I didn't even start using AI until this year. And AI is part of the reason why I'm able to do this presentation. So sometimes determination means doing something badly the first time, and that's hard for people to get accustomed to do. When we've spent years in a profession knowing what we're doing, beginning again can be very uncomfortable. Suddenly you're looking at the screen thinking, what in the world does this button do? Because this technology is moving so fast. I mean, it's changed since we've been on this live, you guys, but we're not supposed to be an expert on day one. We become more comfortable by doing and doing it again. Think about all those hats I talked about earlier. I didn't wake up one morning knowing that I would be wearing all of them, and I don't do them all perfectly. As a matter of fact, I learn all the time. One day, one hat. That's all you got to do. One step, one job. Just do one thing. You've heard that saying. You had one job, and people can't even do the one job. Focus on that one thing, check it off, because it can get overwhelming when you think about all the things that we have to do. So one hat. So another day requires another hat. And eventually you look back and you realize, wait a minute, I know how to do things that I didn't know how to do 6 months ago. That's what we call growth, you guys. And we're all growing. We spend so much time looking at how far we have to go that sometimes we forget to turn around and look at how far we've come. So today, I want you to give yourself credit, not because of everything that you finished, not because everything worked out, not because you made it wherever you're trying to go. I want you to give yourself credit because you're still becoming, you're still learning, and you're still trying. You're still planting. That's determination. So I want to bring the 3 C's together that we talked about. Resilience, when the plan changes, we adjust. And when the plan changes, we adjust. Sorry, I said that. But purpose, I recognize that my experience has value, determination, keep on moving even when everything isn't perfect. So those are the 3 C's that we talked about. We talked about determination, resilience, and purpose. I changed the format for those of you that logged in late. I had a whole thing planned and things change, but I'm going to make this a series instead of just one night. I thought it would be more beneficial than staying on for 4 or 5 hours. Nobody wants to sit and listen to me talk for 4 or 5 hours. I am going to look in the chat here in just a minute, though, and take some questions. I'm so excited because I see people in the chat, friends and people joining me. Thank you so much. But I didn't want to just talk for 4 or 5 hours. I thought that would be kind of humdrum and nobody would stay or show up. So I will take some questions here in just a little bit. But the only 3 things I talked about tonight was determination, purpose, and resilience. Okay, so I will take some questions here in just a minute. But because purpose without determination can remain a dream, determination without resilience can leave you exhausted trying to force something that needs to be changed. And resistance without purpose can leave you adapting without knowing what you're adapting for. But put the 3 together and then you know why. Because you're willing to adjust to get there. You're determined to keep moving, and that's the journey that I'm on. I'm not standing or sitting here. I'm not sitting here telling you guys that I've arrived. I'm inviting you to watch me build, and I want to watch you build. I want us to grow together. Some things are going to work, some things aren't. Some ideas are going to grow, some things may need to be replanted. Some seeds may surprise you completely, but I'm willing to keep planting, and I want you to plant with me. So, how these seeds are going to connect to what I do. Before I close, I want to connect the three seeds of resilience, purpose, and determination. Because planting seeds isn't just talking about it, I'm trying to live through the work that I do. There are three areas I'm developing. They may look completely different on the surface, but they're not: the companion care, housing, and CPR and first aid. When I step back and look at them, I realize that they're really connected to one thing, and that's people. They're about helping people feel supported, safe, prepared, and valued. Companion care relating to resistance. When I think about resilience, I think not resistance, resilience. When I think about resilience, I think about the people that we serve through companion care. Aging doesn't mean someone suddenly stops wanting to be independent or they want to stop making choices. They still want their dignity and they still want companionship. They still want to remain connected to the life that they built. Sometimes they simply need a little support continuing to do that. That's one reason why companion care matters so much to me. It's not just about completing a task, it's about looking at someone and saying, how can I support you continue to live your life with dignity, independence, and grace? Sometimes resilience doesn't mean doing everything by yourself. Sometimes resilience means knowing when it's okay to have someone walk beside you. Yes. And the purpose for the housing, I've also been developing housing opportunities for veterans, independent adults, and returning citizens because everybody deserves a second chance. We've all had one. Housing may sound like it's simply to provide a room, but it's something much bigger because everybody deserves a place where they can come through the door and feel, I belong here. A safe and stable place to live can become that foundation that allows someone to think and welcome what comes next. What does my next chapter look like? How do I maintain my independence? What still gives my life meaning? What purpose does my life have? That's why I don't look at housing as simply providing a room. I look at it as creating an environment where someone has the opportunity to continue living their life with independence, dignity, and purpose. Because purpose doesn't disappear because we get older. Purpose doesn't disappear because we've changed. Purpose doesn't disappear because we've entered a new chapter. And for CPR and first aid, I think of determination. That's where it comes in. And if you think about it for a second, because emergencies don't happen when we're planning them, emergencies are very unexpected. They don't come when we're ready. And when something happens, there may be a moment when someone has to decide, am I going to step forward and help? That's why I teach first aid and CPR. I want people to have the knowledge and the confidence to respond. You don't have to be a nurse, a grandparent, a mother, a first responder, teacher, or church member. You can be someone that's in the restaurant and you see someone have an emergency. And I want to make sure that you have those skills to step in and do something. You may just happen to be the only person that's there that will. And sometimes determination looks like I know what to do and I'm willing to step forward. That's preparation. That's confidence. That's service. And potentially that's changing a life or saving a life. So I know I'm giving you guys a lot of information. So here's the connection. The longer I've been building these businesses, the more I've realized something. At first, I thought companion care is one business, housing is another, CPR and first aid also a different business. But now I see the thread that is running through all three. Companion care helps people to feel supported. Housing helps people to have a place to belong. And CPR and first aid helps people be prepared to respond. And all three come back to what matters most to me: serving people, helping people maintain dignity, helping people maintain independence, helping people feel safer, helping people feel seen. We all want to feel seen. And using what I've learned throughout my years to serve somebody else. Maybe that's what entrepreneurship is becoming for me. Not just what business can I start, but what problem can I help to solve? Who can I serve? What do I already have in my hands that can help make someone's life better? And that's where my businesses started planting seeds: resilience, purpose, determination, and ultimately service. Because if what I'm building doesn't eventually help somebody, then I need to ask myself, why am I building it? So this is my call to action for you. Before you leave today, I'm going to ask you 3 simple things. First, plant a seed. Think about one area of your life that you've been waiting because you thought you needed to have everything figured out. What's one step that you can take this week? Not 10 steps, just one step. Plant that seed. Second, stay connected with me. If something that I said today encouraged you, taught you something, or made you think differently, please subscribe to this channel and share this video with someone that you think may need to hear it. Because we're going to continue these conversations. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, aging with purpose, caregiving, safety, housing, CPR and first aid, and what it means to keep building the next chapter. And if you don't have to live in Texas to be a part of this community. Third, I want you to tell me what seed you're planting. Put one word in the comments. Maybe yours is purpose, resilience, determination, or something else. It doesn't matter. It's your word. It's what's applicable in your life. It could be faith, courage, business, health, family, or any number of things. There is no right or wrong answer here. So whatever seed you put it in the comments for me, please. I want to know what you're working on. And if you're local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're interested in companion care housing communities or CPR and first aid training, you'll be able to find more information by connecting with me. But wherever you're watching from, there's a place for you here. Subscribe, stay connected, and share this with somebody that needs it. And most importantly, plant something, because you don't need to see the whole tree before you plant the first seed. So I know that was a lot. After everything you've learned on this journey, if I could leave you with one thing today, it would be this. Maybe you're looking at your dream and thinking you aren't qualified because you don't know how to do everything. Neither did I. You don't have to wear all 100 hats. You wear the hat that is required for today's assignment. You learn, you adjust, you keep going. And then tomorrow, you may discover that you know how to do something that you couldn't do months ago. That's what planting seeds looks like. It's one lesson, one decision, one new skill, one seed at a time. A mustard seed is all I need. And that's everything I have today, you guys. I want to open it up and see if I have any questions in the chat. Let's see. Do I have any questions? I'm new at this. I don't know if I don't think you guys can hear me. I mean, I don't know. I can't hear you. Let me just kind of look back and see if I have any questions. Hey, TL. Thank you for joining. Hill, thank you. I'm sorry, I don't recognize some of these salty sailors. Sandra, hi. Thank you guys so much for joining. I don't see any questions. Let me see if you guys can type. Rhonda. Does anybody have any questions? I wish you guys could hear me. And let me just speak on that real quick. That was part of the difficulty that I was having. I didn't know how to log on live to answer questions. So my apologies for that. But I'm going to learn how to do it going forward. But it looks like this took right under an hour. So I don't have any questions. Thank you guys so much for joining. This means the world to me. It's the first time that I've done it. But even though my daughter was a little vulnerable there and given a lot of good insight on being my right hand, I appreciated her input. And I thank everyone for joining. I don't see any questions, so I think I will go ahead and conclude. But if you guys want to connect with me, this is my information here. And I'll probably try to make this series come on at least once a week with a guest. I'll have a guest next time. And I'll be answering some questions. Okay. Jesus, take the wheel once a week. It was fun. I learned a lot about myself and thank you, TL. Thank you guys so much. Well, I don't have any questions. I guess I will go ahead and log off. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. A seed is all that we need to get started, you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.